Hello, hello, good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Hello, everybody. My name is Rodgon. I am an artist, I'm a designer, I'm an illustrator, and today I have the great pleasure of being your instructor. So, hi, welcome to the show. How are you guys doing? Hope you guys are doing good. Yesterday we had a wonderful set of streams, honestly. Yesterday we learned a little bit about the face. We learned how to draw the faces. We learned how to draw expressions. We learned how to draw eyes. We learned how to draw mouths. And then I went on a completely random tangent and we just did faces. So we learned how to draw the head from a box. So if you guys don't know how to draw a head from a box, I'm going to show you guys right now. So if you guys don't know the proportions of the head, you can start with a simple box. Okay? Split it in half, split it in half. If you draw an hourglass right here, and you fill this in with a circle, you start getting a semblance of human proportions. I discovered how to do this through visual inspection of people and just overall paying attention to how things look. If you are able to draw 3 parts of anything, you can draw a head. 2 first parts are going to be your nose canal and your eye sockets, which can be done by drawing a little teardrop, a little hourglass, 2 circles, and then at the edges, right here, there's a little triangle. Use that triangle to draw a little circle around. With that alone, you have a very, very strong understanding of a semblance of a skull. If you round out the top, you get yourself a nice little section for your cranium. And then if you actually want to add anatomical details, you can go in and add details like that. Things like the jaw and other elements get attached to the side. And you have yourself a complete skull in like 2 seconds. Now, understanding this is not really all that hard, right? It's just about splitting a box in half, creating an hourglass, and drawing some circles. If you want to draw somebody that has a really big chin, now at this point you draw a really big teardrop. And you can create a character that has a really big chin, as opposed to a person that has a really small one, and you can do that too. So if you focus on the parts that don't move, aka the top part of your skull, and you focus on doing it as a box, you can draw that in different angles as well. And it becomes a little bit easier to figure out. So we talked about this yesterday. Right? We talked about this. I talked to you guys how you can describe this as the 1, 2, 3, 4 method. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you see your head as 4, right? You can divide this 1, 2, 3, 4. I know it's backwards. Sorry. If the front 2 is the front of your face, the other sides are going to be the side of your head. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say you want a 3/4 view. Well, maybe I don't want a more profile, so I'm just going to make 1, 2, 3. So I have access to drawing. And if I profile, complete profile, it's only a 2, 3, 4. It's not overly hard if you don't overcomplicate it. Hey, Lenore, what's up, cutie? How you doing? I mean, how long am I live today? Oh, I'm gonna be live for about like an hour or so. I'm gonna be here for a little bit. So if you guys want to learn this video is on YouTube now. So if you guys want to learn how to draw heads with a box, this video is on YouTube and you guys can go learn it. The video itself is just a guideline. It's not overly difficult to draw it like this because it's just a line, two circles, and an oval. And by rounding out the edges of your shape, you have yourself a skull in any direction you want. Okay, so consider that, take that into consideration, and remember that it's not going to be overly difficult if you just think about it in a 1, 2, 3, 4 method. So the 1, 2, 3, 4 rule. Cool. How'd your Spanish go yesterday? Oh, it went great. No, I know how to speak Spanish fluently, and then I love teaching in general. So it's just interesting having to come up with the words. Like, for example, sketches is bocetos, or dibujos iniciales, or, there's like a different terminology for things, and I don't know all of them. So it's a matter of like learning as I go, and trying to explain things without knowing all the terms is normally always not that fun. But at the end of the day, it's a challenge, and it's something that I need to learn to do if I want to communicate with the people in my Latin countries as well. But you are fluent in Spanish, yes. I am fluent when I can speak it, but when it comes down to terminology, it becomes a little bit different. It becomes a situational thing where you don't really understand how to convey that like one expression perfectly, and you end up in a... It's not bad, but it's just weird. So you end up speaking a lot of Spanglish and stuff. Where's my pen? Where is my puppy? He always runs off. He doesn't like hanging out with me. Here he comes. What are you doing? Huh? What you doing? You don't get to be all cute without me. Anyways, so let's talk about what makes this sort of stuff easy, because this is the stuff that's going to lead to this. Okay? If you guys are drawing and you guys just focus on the upper part of your body, whenever you're drawing characters, most of your features fall within this general range. 1-to-1 ratio. Okay? Most of your features are going to fall within that middle range, that middle section. So 1, 2, 3. So when you're drawing heads, you don't have to focus on the entirety of the shape. You can just focus on this little tiny section and then add parts to it. Check it out. Focus on that little mid part, draw your teardrop or your hourglass. And then if you have all your features here, all you gotta do is give it some forehead and then give it a area for your jaw. So think about it differently, okay? Think about it in rules of 3. 1, 2, 3. But you wanna focus heavily on the middle part. And if you do that, you can change the size of these to be anything you want. And eventually, as you learn more anatomy, you're gonna be able to draw cooler characters. So it's gonna be really, really cool to do that. Now, if you guys wanna stay for the lesson, I wanna make sure that you guys understand that if you guys like my stream, I get more students. So if we wanna continue this stream, let's get it to 10K. Okay? I'll continue doing examples, but let's get it to 10K so we can begin our lesson a little bit faster. I just wanna reach as many students as I can. So if we can do that, that'd be amazing. So if you focus on the middle part and you draw an hourglass, you can come up with every single variation of character you can possibly want. Okay? Small eyes, big eyes, whatever you feel like drawing is going to be up to you. I'm not giving you a style guide. I'm just unlocking the ability to be able to draw things proportionally. So you don't have to focus on the entirety of the head. Just focus on that little square. Get this down good. The eyes are going to fall right in the middle. And then when you feel confident, you can add volume to this side. Pew, pew, pew. You can add volume up. And you can add volume down. And when you connect them all, you end up with something that resembles a face. So you go middle section, which is your feature zone, because your ears, everything falls within this little line. Okay? This middle line, everything falls in it. Your skull stops at number 2. 1, 2. Your jaw is the only thing consisting of number 3. Okay? So your head is divided into 2 parts really easy by just drawing a circle and a box. And then that third part, this is where we normally mess up. So just start it with the part that's important, the parts that we need to represent, the teeth. From there, find your ear, and then connect your ear to your chin. You don't have to worry about that little angle. It's more of a curvature. It's just your teeth line, by the way. It's just your teeth and your molars going back. So it's not like this. Well, sometimes that is the case, but that's because of muscle. And like, people with like overdeveloped, like sections like bodybuilders and stuff like that, or superheroes. You don't want to do that to everybody. Not everybody has that. And sometimes you don't even have that. Sometimes you don't even have a full connection. Actually, most of the people don't have a full connection. And using overlapping lines is what gets you the ability to draw these people cool without it looking weird. Midsection, hourglass, side of the face, teardrop to my chin. So I have access to drawing a skull out of any shape. So I'm not concerned with if I can draw a head within a shape. It's more like what type of character is it going to be? So I can draw any shape, decide what the middle section is going to be, split it in half, and then draw an hourglass. And I have myself a character. If I want width to this side, I take parts 1 and 2 and I add depth through a circle. And I can create my characters a lot easier. Okay, so it's just my method modified to be seen differently. So I normally teach it as a triangle, and you follow the guidelines, go up, and you find all these mapping points. So this is the normal way that I normally teach it. But there's other ways to teach the same concept, because we're not all fishies. Some fishies need to swim, some monkeys need to climb. And I need to teach that in several ways so that all my people can be covered. Okay, I don't like doing the whole there's only one way to learn, because that's bullshit. And if your teachers say that, they don't know how to teach it differently. And that's a difference. Not having the option to do it differently and not being able to teach it differently are 2 different things. So next time that your teacher tells you, hey, I can't really, you shouldn't do that, be like, wait, hold on. Is this something that you don't want taught, or is this something that is actually industry thing? Because it doesn't seem like there's a right or a wrong in art. And then just see him squirm. What? Rod is a pro artist. Yeah. Wait, who's saying I'm not? Did someone say I wasn't a pro artist? No. Oh, wow. You're a great artist and great teaching, and you've changed the way I storyboard. Fantastic, dude. I like knowing that I can make a difference. So anytime that you want to decide the front of your face, just decide on a box for the front. Whatever box you want for the front, divide it into your 1 and 2. The rest of the space is going to be divided into your 3 and 4. And you can just fill in the shapes as needed. And then as you learn anatomy, you'll learn that some parts overlap, some parts cave in, some parts stick out a little bit more. But you're going to have a nice semblance of what an actual anatomical system is, as opposed to doing it from this. This is bullshit. Don't do that. It's so dumb. Like, don't do that. It's so silly and it's so complicated. Just do a box. Split it, hourglass, and you have a skull really quickly. Okay? The volume for your head doesn't go through the whole head. It only goes on the upper part. So you only need volume on that part. The jaw doesn't go all the way in the back of the head. It goes from the ear to the chin and then around to the other ear. And then you have your cheekbone that stands out right there. So you don't even see the jaw on this side sometimes. So your jaw goes from ear to ear, touches your chin, right? And if it's a 3/4 view, you don't even see this side of the jaw because the cheekbone overtakes it. So your cheekbone covers the jaw. So you don't even see it. So when you're learning to draw your characters, if you learn to draw little circles, you can use them to find both sides of the ears. Chin, draw it round to find your jaw, and then just find the front of your face. So there's different ways to do it. Is that the Whaler width at the top? I don't know what you're talking about. So, now that we have a couple people in the chat, let's make myself get to 25K. Let's get to 25K. Let's get this going. Meanwhile, I'm going to teach you guys how to draw this in profile. Okay, so now that you know how to draw in the front, so we're going to draw a box. We're going to split it in 4 hourglass circles. So now we know how to draw this from the front. That's easy, right? So a 3/4, we can just add a little circle on the side and round out the top. And then you have yourself a 3/4. If you want a profile, you take only half of that. So imagine that you're doing both. And then you add 2 sections to this. 1, 2. So it becomes 3. See what I mean? Little by little, you can start adding the sections and just rotate them. I was in information meeting for my future art college today. Woohoo! Oh, what are you eating? You're eating this. Okay. Go over there. Profile, ear goes in the middle of whatever circle you have here. Okay, there's no measurement. Whatever circle volume you chose for the back, it's a really skinny one or really fat one. Okay, so let's say we have this. We want 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Split this in 3 again, or yeah, we can do it in 3. The middle section is our feature zone, so that's where our circle goes, and then the circle goes in the rest of this. The ear goes in the middle of this, but doesn't go straight up and down. It goes at an angle. Okay? That angle is what allows you to draw your jaw nice and smooth. And it tends to connect at the bottom of the circle. So if you're going to make your ears big, you can make them big there, but then caveat, the lobe of the ear goes below that line. So anything that hangs below the ridge of your ear, this is your pivot point. Anything below here goes below the pivot point. So if you have earrings or anything, this is the pivoting part, okay? From there, that's where your jaw goes out. So you need to learn how to position that. Circle, split that in half, circle. So your ear is gonna connect right here at an angle, half of the way up, and you're gonna go up from the jaw, up from that point. That way you have access to being able to draw your structures right. And it gives you a pivot point in case you ever want to open your mouth. That's kind of cool, huh? So now let's talk about features, because we're drawing a lot of heads, but we're not drawing the nose, we're not drawing the mouth. So this becomes a little bit difficult to see. And you probably are questioning like, oh, well, how do you draw all that stuff, right? That's the hard part. Drawing the actual head part isn't the hard part. Drawing the features is, you ass. How about you just teach us that? We want to learn the cool stuff. Well, you got to learn the stuff that constructs everything before you can learn to do it cool. I like to teach in 3 ways, okay? One way, one step. Step 1 is talk about the object that we're doing. So we're going to talk about it. Then 2, we're going to dissect it. 3, we're going to deconstruct it. 4, we're going to simplify it. And 5, we're going to stylize. Okay, so this brings knowledge to you. So this is brain power. And then this is hand power. Okay? You need both to be able to generate good artwork. You can't just have one. Brain power comes before hand power. And this stylization is just to make things look pretty. That's it. This is the last step and the least necessary. Okay? But this is where everybody wants to be at. But it's the least necessary step in the whole concept. If you understand deconstruction, if you understand conceptualization, if you understand space, perspective, all that stuff first, you can go in and stylize these things any way you feel like, and you won't have an issue, okay? It can be animals, it can be humans, it could be anything in between. So whatever you decide that you want to draw later, it's so much more important to learn how to actually construct it before you decide that style is the most important part. Okay? Style is absolutely one of the last things that you should worry about. And you guys want to know why? I'm going to tell you guys why. I'm going to explain it to you guys. I'm not going to leave you guys hanging. Because style is not what you guys think. Your style is not your ability to replicate somebody else's stuff, right? It's not your eyelids. It's not the way you draw your eyes. It's not the way you draw your noses. It's not the way you draw your mouths. That's not your style, okay? That's a misrepresentation of what you can create. Your style is essentially what knowledge you have in your brain. What can you draw? What do you know how to draw? So if you know how to draw a happy face, that's within your style. If you know how to draw a more complicated happy face, that's within your style. And if you know how to deconstruct this to something with a nose, a mouth, eyes, and eyebrows, that's also your style. If you understand how to add anatomy to these elements, that also is your style. You get it? Your style is just everything that you can do. Now, if you want to refine your style so that you have a better understanding of what the human structures and characters and stuff like that are, you need to go out and you need to do some self-studying, because nobody sees the world like you. No one. No one. I promise you this. Especially if you're an artist. You don't see the world like other people. And trying to put yourself in a box and telling yourself, well, I have to see it like this other guy did. That's some seriously back-ass stuff. Like, you got to understand that that is not the way that we learn. Yes, it's good to get guidance. It's always beautiful to get guidance, but it's not an absolute necessity. You don't need guidance to be able to do art. You want guidance because you want a certain specific look to be achieved. But your knowledge, whatever you decide that you're going to pursue, if you just obsess over it a little bit, because it should be obsessed over, because it's something hard to do, it's hard to achieve, it's hard to create, and it's even harder to create on demand. So understanding that your knowledge, the level of your understanding of the human structure, perspective, and everything is going to give you the ability to draw in different styles. You're not subjected to one style, and you're not subjected to staying the same throughout your whole career. Okay? You can change styles willy-nilly if you understand enough to be able to do so. If you don't have knowledge, you can't do this. And that's why it's normally people that just have the ability to go to art school and pay for that knowledge from people that are experienced that are able to achieve this easier, especially if they're not naturally gifted human beings. But that's where I come in. That's where this old man comes in. And I give you guys all that knowledge free. I will be providing courses that will be more targeted towards people that want to learn an extra level of detail. Like if you guys want to learn to finish your drawings, you guys want to learn to make them stickers, you guys want to learn to make them t-shirts. I'm going to start Patreon. I'm going to revamp my Patreon next week. And it's going to come with a bunch of different options. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer the files, the source files to things that we work on for the people that subscribe. And that way you guys have access to not just reference work, but you guys have video progress of finished illustration work. So we're going to work on our sketches while we're working on our stream, and then we will work on finished illustration work that we can use for conventions, we can use for every other aspect of our career that isn't just sketching. And you guys can come along, you guys can learn along me, and I can teach you guys that as well. But since that's a smaller market, I need to have that be like, that's gonna be the subscription thing. So people that want to subscribe will be like $2 a month, $2 a month, and then you guys can have access to those files. And that's essentially what you guys are paying for. You guys are paying for the access to the files and like the background stuff, you know? But you guys can always join our streams, and you guys can always do that as well. So if you guys, YouTube. YouTube. Like 400 videos, 500 videos, almost 500 videos now. Almost 500 videos on YouTube. So if you guys want to learn how to draw anything from eyes, if you guys want to learn noses, if you guys want to learn how to draw digital stuff, if you guys want to learn how to use a tablet, if you guys want to learn just how to draw with things in your sketchbook better, I have all those videos there. There's literally one probably covering most aspects of drawing. From body parts, so if you want to learn how to draw the body better, I have my own videos on those. Right? And they cover all my techniques that are very, very fun and very easy to use. We have techniques for hands, we have not even techniques, it's just ways to see it, I guess. So it's not necessarily a technique, it's not a trick. I'm just trying to like teach you guys how to unlock your vision so that you guys can access all this stuff without having to need me, right? The overall goal for any teacher should be that you guys should not require my attention or my information anymore. My goal is that you guys don't need me at some point. That is my ultimate goal. If I never see you on my stream again, it's because I saw you succeed. And that's going to be a source of pride to me, as opposed to seeing it as like, oh my God, no. And like, no, you should be watching me until you see it, and then you guys can't unsee it. Once you guys get there, that's it. That's my job. My job is to guide you there. I'm like the ferryman. Okay? I'm just the ferryman. I'm not here to look for fame. I'm not here to look for accolades. I'm not here to be your to be that person. I'm here to just help you guys achieve something that was so hard for me to achieve that I dedicate my life to be able to teach that to other people, so that you guys don't have a hard time. So, anyways, we have had a wonderful stream today. So let's recap this while we have a little space so we can actually talk a little bit more, and then we will call it a day. Keep it nice and concise. Thank you to the people that have gotten me to 29,000, but if you guys can get me to 30K before we close the stream, that'd be amazing. Actually, let's make it 38K because I don't want to draw over this. Anyways, if you guys can get me there, that'd be amazing. But let's recap what we learned today so that we can use this knowledge throughout the day. If you guys don't know, the best way to retain this information is to just go out and draw for 15 minutes after this stream. Okay? Sit down, look at what we went over, and pay attention to try to see if you can retain that knowledge. That's number one. Number two, try to draw something cool with the knowledge that you learned today. If you guys draw something that cements that knowledge in stone, you guys will have this forever, right? It's all about applying the knowledge. Again, this is the final step, okay? Application. And this is the step that, again, most people stay within these two steps. They find a style, they find something that they like, and then they apply it. But they forget to apply everything else that creates your style. Okay? So this is the rod gun method of teaching. This is how I deconstruct everything, and this is every single day we essentially talk, and we do this every day. We deconstruct, and then we talk about it, and then we decide how to simplify it, and then we decide on how to stylize it. So that way we're not stuck within a certain realm, and we can do things that don't necessarily consist of the same look. But it also means that we can decide to have fun with other elements that aren't even necessarily human, with the same concepts. Okay? So, knowing this will simplify superheroes, will make you guys be able to draw proportions better. You guys will be able to just see an art a lot easier. Now, I just like to give you guys some examples of what I normally like to draw with these information, these techniques, because it's what makes me happy. And being able to draw the things that make you joyful is the most important part of the actual career in art. You're not signing up to this to do things you dislike. You don't sign up for art to draw stuff you don't like. It's that simple. And if you are constantly finding yourself, yeah, you can use this for other stuff too, like animals and stuff. Yeah, just be happy. Just overall be joyful, be happy. Learn that life is short. Life is really short. And if you're not doing what you want now, when? When are you going to start? If you're not going to start this week, right? If you decide that you don't want to do anything this week, you're going to start next week, you're going to start next month, you're going to start next year. When is it going to be? Because that's when the fun starts. It's scary. It's terrifying. It's terrifying, absolutely terrifying, but it's the best part of life. When you're actually testing yourself. When somebody is, looking at what you're doing and they're like, holy shit, this person's awesome. And that's what you're preventing yourself from feeling, from not starting your projects. Every day that you push back that book, you're going to have an extra day without that, like accolade. Every time that you push back that animation because you're not ready yet, somebody else is going to come up with that idea and pitch it before you. And then that idea is going to be something you need to change again. And then you're going to go back to square one. So understanding that you're not the only creative person. So therefore, we have to act quickly when we have anything that's remotely original is a sentiment that a lot of people don't realize. If you have an idea that's completely awesome and epic, and you just don't have the ability to render it, do it to the best of your skills, and then see if you can figure out the rest. Figure it out as you go. But there's no standing still. Okay, there's no standing still. Standing still is the only way you guarantee you don't do shit. And that's not what my students are gonna be. Okay? My students are going to be vigilant, and they're going to make me proud. They already do. Not like I would use guilt or anything like that to make somebody feel like they aren't accomplishing things. But comes a source of pride when someone looks at you, especially someone that's been teaching you, and you're like, holy shit, this person has grown. And I can say that about a couple of people that have been taking my tutelage. For example, Wes, our mod, and our opening act. He normally comes on. All right, Wes in like 6 months has gone from not very knowing how to draw at all to drawing amazing things, even to the point where he's teaching it. And that makes me so incredibly proud because it's just cool to see somebody pick up your knowledge and be so drawn by it that they want to teach it as well. I have ADHD. Why do you think my sketchbooks are so filled? Why do you think that these are filled to the brim? Because I can't keep a consistent thought. So I just constantly jump around and I just go and I draw comics, I draw chibis, I draw pinups, I draw animals, all within a page, and it still looks good. Be my dad? No. I have a puppy and I can barely handle him. You would probably hate me as your dad. I'm a very strict person. And I'm a good teacher as long as I don't have to be on your ass about doing the shit. Because if I had to be on your ass about doing things and you didn't want to do them, eventually I would realize, oh, this person doesn't really want this. And then when I click that, when that clicks, it's really hard for me to go back to seeing the person as someone driven. So that's also why it's difficult for people to be my students, because I hold people to the same standard that I would hold myself. And I'm not talking about myself now. I'm seeing like how I was when I was at their level. So it's not like I'm being like, oh, well, you can't keep up with me. No, it's like if I see them and I see their drive and I see that they're not working as hard as they should, then I just give up because I don't feel like dealing with people that don't work hard. I don't give my time freely to people. So whenever I do, it has to be somebody that actually wants to learn, as opposed to just a person that wants to learn how to draw. Do I have homework? Oh my God, homework. Yes, we can do homework. All right, so homework time. Homework time. All right, so homework. Bam. All right, let's see a marker. Where's a marker? Need a marker. All right, we have a big marker. Homework. Okay? If you guys want to do some homework, I can do you guys one really, really cool thing. So today we talked about heads, right? We talked about the head. We talked about the structures of the head and all that stuff. And let me move this before I accidentally press play and I hurt you guys' ears. So today we talked about the head, and we talked about how to make the head from a box. So our exercise for today is going to be quite easy. Our homework is going to be to draw a box skull, and we're going to do this in several different ways. We're going to do this by starting off by step 1 is going to be drawing a box. Step 2 is going to be split the box in 4. Okay? Step 3, you're going to draw an hourglass or 2 little triangles on the bottom section. This is going to give you the division that you need by drawing a little circle that connects everything. Okay? This is going to give you a little tiny triangle at the edge. You're going to use that little triangle, that little tiny spacing that's left, to draw a little teardrop that connects to the side of the head and the top. And then you round out the top. You have yourself a pretty nice upper part of the skull. From there, that little triangle, so step 5, you rounded it out. Okay. Step 5 is creating a little teardrop coming from that triangle, and you have yourself a face. So your homework today is going to be to master the front view of this. And if you want to do a little bit more detail, step 6 is connecting here or here. Okay, so just connecting your ear to your chin. And your ear falls exactly at the same height as your eyes, the eye socket, or the bottom of the circle. Okay, from a profile, if you want to add depth to this, once you get to this, you can do this. Do the same thing, but now add a little bit of a circle on the side, and then round out the shape to whatever circle you draw here. And now you have a little bit more. And the more that you move to the side, you end up seeing a little bit less of the front, which is still a box, and you see a little bit more of the side. Okay? So as you turn your head around, you're going to see a little bit less of the front and just more of that circle. And wherever the half of that circle is, so this is step 7, and step 8 is angle, and your ear is at an angle so that you can create your structures. Everything else, like your nose and stuff like that, come up from there. So if you have 2 eye sockets and your chin, your nose is going to come from that triangle up. Your eyes are going to fall within that parameter of that eye socket. And then your mouth is going to be around that little teardrop shape. So everything just kind of fits in there because you're drawing an actual skull. Okay? So focus on that exercise today. That is going to be your homework. Hourglass, circle, teardrop. So you're going to use these 3 shapes. Oh, triangles too. So use all the shapes. Triangle, box, circle, and then circles. Or teardrops. So you have 1 teardrop, 2 teardrops, 3 teardrops, 2 circles, and 1 box. Okay, so that is going to be your homework for today, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have a lovely, lovely Tuesday. I hope you guys learned a little bit. I hope you guys learned a lot. And remember, at least 15 minutes, if you guys want to retain this, draw for 15 minutes after this. Okay? Try to implement this into your brain. I'll post this on Instagram and on TikTok for just as a screenshot so you guys have access to the homework. I'm going to do that a little bit more often. And every time that I remember to give you guys homework, I'll do that as well. Okay? Have a lovely day, everybody. Take care. Love you all. See you guys later on for another stream. I'm going to do a YouTube stream a little bit later. I think around noon. I'll do a YouTube stream. And if you guys feel like coming over, I normally use YouTube streams like a dueling piano bar thing. And people that come and want a very specific question answered, they normally donate anything like from $1 to whatever, $10, whatever they want to donate. And then I answer you guys' questions. So questions get prioritized there for donations. And that's how I make a little bit more money. So if you guys want to come to that one, that's fantastic. If not, don't worry about it. All of them get posted on YouTube, so you guys can just see them later. You guys don't ever have to donate or buy anything of me, so to be able to learn, okay? That is not the purpose. The purpose is to pass on the knowledge, not necessarily make myself money, but I need to live to be able to pass on the knowledge. So that is why those things are there. Take care, everybody. Love you all. Have a lovely day. And if you guys want to buy my books, that's all chewed up because my puppy likes them so much, but the books are in the bio. Later, Gators. See you guys tomorrow.